What do I like about living in Hangzhou and what do I miss about the UK? Well, Hangzhou is just a beautiful city. It's got the lake, it's got the hills to walk around, it's got all the obviously the things a modern city has to offer too. Great food. I can get a water bus here. How cool is that? You could just get on the water bus and go down to the Grand Canal. It's amazing. In terms of my music, I think living in China has just given my music a new lease of life. I wouldn't say it necessarily directly influences my style of music or the subject matter, but I think just any type of change can be really inspiring for an artist. And also just being a bit more isolated, I think, has just made me retreat more into my music and give my music more time, which has been great for me. Leeds in the UK has a brilliant music scene, and there was so much talent around that I really, had to up my game, which was really good. But where I was based, I could also feel like I was living in a goldfish bowl, if that makes any sense, because there was just so much going on around me all the time, and it became a bit distracting, I think. I really miss my friends though, and my family obviously, and pubs. And I miss just how vibrant the music scene is in the UK. But my present life is I'm a family man anyway, so it's not like I can be going out to gigs all the time. So things change, don't they? You move on. I certainly don't miss the weather. How is the new EP different? Well, I think all my releases are markedly different, really. And Seine continues that trend. However, I guess people that know my singer-songwriter kind of fare and my more acoustic-based music will probably hear parallels with that. At the same time, I've probably retained certain kind of lo-fi aspects from my previous album, Flounce, but sonically it sounds very different. This one's a lot more melancholy and less upbeat than my last record. The lyrics, yes. Really, my approach to lyrics is generally always pretty intuitive. I just kind of shoot for what I think the song needs. So that could be like a really minimalist approach, where I'm quite economic in how I'm using words and maybe trying to keep things a bit cryptic, hidden meanings and all that kind of thing. But at the same time, if a song structure, chord structure lends itself to a bit of storytelling, that kind of direction, then I'll try and go to town on that. So I think this EP offers both sides of that, really. Kind of both things are on offer in this EP, and it all melds together quite nicely, I think. Gigs. Well, gigs, it's a bit more challenging gigging in China. More challenging than back home, and that's for two main reasons, I guess. First, there's not the same type of music scene in Hangzhou, where there would be, there's not countless venues to play like there is back in Leeds or many cities in the UK. But secondly, like as I mentioned before, I have family responsibilities, so with a young child I'm not desperate to be out playing all the time anyway. My time at home is just precious to me at the moment, so you've just got to be around for them when they're little, I think, because it only happens once. That said, I've played some great gigs in China, at some great venues. I met some great promoters, been to places as far-flung as Wuxi and Jingdezhen, although my pronunciation of those places is probably awful. I played a great show end of last year with John Gom, and that was in Hangzhou. That was brilliant. And actually, I think the label just told me that there's a gig in October. No, a festival, in fact. Yes, I'm booked to play at a festival in October, which is great because that will coincide with the EP release quite nicely. How is it different being signed to a label? Well, I have more support and resources, but it's still like a DIY kind of thing. It's a do-it-yourself kind of spirit or ethos at Medic Records, and that's something that was ingrained in me during my time in Leeds, where actually I also worked with small labels intermittently. In fact, I haven't signed anything. It's not like I'm signed to a major label or anything like that. I've just joined a small roster of artists where there's just this history of collaborating in order to form a stronger unit together. It's just a cooperative, really, in a sense. In practical terms, though, he initially set it up with someone else, I think. The label is very much John Carroll's baby. He's an artist in his own right, and he's got a lot of experience just of touring China in a solo acoustic capacity, which is the sort of shows that I'm doing, and that's just a great resource to have because he's got a lot of good contacts in that sense, and it means you can just travel around playing music when you have the opportunity, which is great fun. And I think actually he set up a tour for a really good artist called Kelly Dance that you should check out. She's based in Hong Kong, but John helped set up her first mainland tour of China, I believe. So yeah, he's just got the contacts to help you do those kinds of things, which is invaluable.